All right, guys, welcome back. Topic number two, if you guys have the article with you, I'm going to have David switch over, and David's going to kind of chime in and share people's conversations, and I'll help prep a whiteboard. But here's a standout quote from this article: laying the foundations to academically productive talk, something that you typically encounter within your classroom. I saw some things here definitely typically encounter. And what can you share with a colleague that maybe stood out to you? Maybe it's a conversation that you already have with common things here that you see that you commonly talk with your counterparts with. I'm going to switch over roles to David, and yeah, just curious, what do you guys want to prep a whiteboard? Just kind of curious what people think. So,
all right, thanks, George.
yeah.
There we are. There's the controls. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put people into breakout rooms. We'll do it randomly again into 3 rooms. And it looks to me like we're up ready to go. 1, 2, 3. All right, anybody have any questions before we get going? All right, see you guys later. All right. Let's see, I'm going to put him in breakout room 1. George, you want me to set, which room do you want me to put you in? Does it matter?
Smallest room, least amount of people.
All right, I'm putting you in 3.
Awesome.
All right, we'll see you later. He's in 3, so I'm going to go over and look at 1. John, you said you had open house tonight?
Yes, we had an open house, but apparently I'm not properly planned because my laptop is at now 5% battery. My school one doesn't have a microphone or a video.
Oh, dang.
Oh,
So-
no.
We didn't copy that, did we?
So if you do this, I can. When I go, I'm gone.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
I forgot to take a screenshot of our work.
But that's what I was just saying. And you don't do that. It's gone, right?
Not necessarily. And I got shots of rooms 1 and room 2. I didn't get room 3, but
I was in.
I think we were 2.
all right.
We know what we wrote. It's good.
All right. So who was going to share with room 1? That was Joe. You had the board, right?
Yeah, I think we were room 2 though. But if you show
Okay.
I didn't make it. If you show the screenshot, I can tell you if it was ours.
All right. So does somebody from one of the other rooms have that and can put it up, share it up for us?
I think we have it.
Okay. And then I'll go find the one from room 2 while we're talking about the other one.
I don't know. Do we have it?
This is fun.
I can share our incomplete one if we want.
Did you see that?
Yep.
Okay. So someone from our group want to talk about this?
Yeah, this is room 1, right?
Sure.
I don't
Yes.
know.
It is.
I don't know. Okay, so I could talk about it. So, the first thing we kind of talked about with the quotes, we really liked page 7 with the teacher's introduction and kind of the letter that it was to students. But I thought about also putting it as part of like a parent letter in the beginning of the year too, and just kind of introducing how the way that we do classes a little bit differently, but that's not a bad thing. Our group also kind of talked about the green sheet, and we thought that was a really neat idea, having that available to students and, kind of laying that foundation so that, we can revisit it throughout the year and everyone has the expectations for what they're supposed to do. And then I'm trying to think of what else we talked about with this, the teacher responses and let's see. So I don't know, does anyone else from my group want to jump in on this part?
Yeah, we were just kind of saying that this was one thing that I thought I would share with a colleague was how we respond to students when they answer questions or when they have discussions, and not to try to emphasize their correct answers, but let it be more of a dialogue with the students. And then I think John chimed in with saying things like, I don't know, what do you think? And in letting the kids answer it themselves or even talk to their group members about the answers, but not always giving them the right answers all the time.
Right. And then I guess the other part that stood out to us was the section on how to engage more students. I thought that they had some good ideas, and we shared some of the other strategies that people have used, like allowing for students to speak before the next person speaks. If like there's one kid or two kids dominating the conversation, or maybe giving sentence stems for students so that they can have a place to respond or a starting point to respond. I have some classes that are just very boy heavy, and I feel like the girls sometimes sit back, and I thought maybe the idea of alternating girls and boys in the conversation sometimes could help too. So I think overall we found a lot of useful and helpful things in this article.
Cool. All right. Let me go ahead and put up the room 2 screen. Let's see. And I think, no, let's see. If I do that. All right. Can everybody see that?
Oh yeah, you got it.
Yep.
Okay. All right, and who's going to talk about it?
We all can. I mean,
Yeah, we all can.
yeah. So I think Tanya, you put up this first quote, right? The
Yeah,
one-
we really did like the teacher introduction, and just the way that was laid out, and just the hook at the beginning about telling the kids one thing that most people don't know, that it's team sport like soccer, football, or baseball. Yeah, that we just kind of captured that as, you know, just sort of we like that, this sort of just explaining, launching how things are going to go. So
We also talked about the same thing, Tanya, no, Corinne or Corrine? Corinne?
Corinne, yeah.
And Corinne's group talked about, one of my quotes was not put up there, but similar, don't telegraph to the students like one idea is better than another, or learning to provide non-evaluative responses to students' ideas is in the midst of a discussion is really hard. And it's really hard to give a non-judgmental response to someone whose idea is correct. Because sometimes if you tell a kid they got the right answer per se, then the conversation stops. You know, people think you're done. So.
Right. And then the other quote we put up, I think Heather liked it or suggested it.
Yeah.
So there's under the section about consequences, but it was kind of applicable to the whole topic.
Yeah, so the thing I liked about the quote is that even though it came up in one context, it really does address a lot of what we're doing. It's like, yeah, does this sound obvious and easy? It does. And part of my complaint with that is that it's not given the due diligence that is needed to be successful. You know, it really is a complex achievement. It really does require some dedication and, you know, commitment to trying to make it all come together. It's not as obvious and easy as it sounds, you know? And then you wind up with people saying, oh, I tried that, it doesn't work. Well, you tried to overlay a thought onto your existing process. Like, you didn't try this.
Well, and the other part, stop and think about what that says. I tried it and it didn't work, but don't we tell the kids repeatedly, well, you need to try it more than once, right?
Oh my gosh, that's
Just
so
try
true.
something one time. If it didn't work, you need to try it again.
right.
Adults are so horrible like that.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
I think we didn't say this, but something, and it's not even in the article, but something I would share with a colleague is that you really don't know how to use this technique unless you've taken a modeling class.
Yep.
Like full immersive 6 to 8 hours for a week or two, you know, really being the student in this situation,
Right.
is how you learn the process, I think. But.
I have to be honest, it really makes me a little crazy to hear teachers say, oh yeah, I'm a modeling teacher. I use modeling, because even now, only a year and a half into it, my first instinct is to say, I'll bet you don't. Like, I don't say it out loud, but in my head, I'm thinking to myself, I bet they don't.
Yeah, because it's hard.
It's hard.
It takes years to master, probably.
Last week, go ahead.
So some things we encountered in the classroom said side talking. Like, I think the article started out with that, with like one student talking to their neighbor, saying something maybe disrespectful, or even just side talking during the conversations. Where it says kids dominated conversation, I think what we meant is like certain kids dominating, not allowing others to talk. Sometimes the shy kids, and other times this entire classes seem to be quieter than others. And I can't remember, but we added something right below. It was another quote between things.
It was the same quote as Heather's up above.
Oh, right.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, you're not going to just be able to try this out once and see if it works. Like,
right.
This is going to require some effort.
Right. Because while it's student-centered, the students are doing their work during the class, the teachers have to set the tone to allow it to be a productive conversation. Like, I had mentioned that, you know, I've tried some sort of like inquiry discovery labs that I've kind of come up with myself without laying the right groundwork, and then just like, they totally fall apart. And as you realize, it's like a super complex task to get all of these pieces in order for kids to have the opportunity to explore certain phenomena, to then be able to communicate it to everything. So it's like lots of pieces that need to be in place to get to get modeling to happen.
Well, I've gone through intro to modeling. I went through a 2 or 3 week workshop. I've been full on teaching modeling this year, and right now sitting here in this class realize, yeah, I don't always have a goal for the class. I'm just going through the curriculum. Like, okay. So, and that's with all of the work, like.
Right.
And you've got to remember that, learning is a continuum, and we're all at different places, no matter how much experience we have, and it's a lifelong process. We're all going to continue to learn. I've got to share with you. So last week we had a half-day district PD day, and I ran a PD for all the middle school science teachers, and the focus of the lesson was how to do modeling. And of course, they all come in. Well, I do this all the time. So we had them, I showed them the PhET simulation for greenhouse gases, and then we showed them an experiment, a video of an experiment where they collected CO2 gas in one bottle and then measured temperature change under a heat lamp over a period of time. And we gave them a time-lapse model to construct that showed what was happening in the model. And out of the 10 boards that they put together, there was actually only one of them that contained CO2 particles in the model. And most of them, focused on changes in the water and completely missed the fact that there was CO2 gas in the model, and what they were trying to model was the changes in the CO2 gas. And these are the people that are teaching our kids all across the district. And, you get to a point where you want to scream, but you need to get into a circle because we're modeling for them the whole process and get them to talk about, which models are models showing the process that we think is taking place, and getting that conversation going even with the teachers. And it was just absolutely fascinating to see them kind of struggle through it and see them wiggle and squiggle the same way the kids do when they know their models didn't cut it, but they're the science teacher and they don't, they're not going to sit there and own it. So it was, the fascinating part about it was, and I guess what I'm trying to get to is, it's no different with teachers than it is with kids. So, all right. Who in group 3 has their board? Hopefully somebody's got that, right?
Yeah, David, I was in that one. I'll jump over and share.
Okay.
Mine. All right, can we see it? We got the quote that really stood out to us is, one day you'll each have a career that you'll be asked to solve problems, maybe not in science or math, but maybe with other problems. And I think, yeah, Heather, I think that's your part of the quote. I had the sentence before that. I don't know if I wrote my part or your part. I think I wrote your part. Yeah.
I can't remember, but there's another sentence that goes along with it that talks about just how important it is to be able to present your ideas in a way that people understand and that will make sense to them. And so we really liked this, the really broad answer to why is this important, not just in this class, not just in this school, but in a broader sense.
Yeah. And the other thing is, like, one thing I run into, and I think we talked about running our colleagues, is like, why is this talk, the kids doing the talking, so important? And understanding reasoning skills, best way to learn is to teach. I think there's a lot of reasons why talk's important. And I don't think I think it's foreign to a lot of other teachers. So, and how do you keep it constructive? So, but yeah. Dude, I just kind of want to take a second, like, and I don't know, am I sharing my whiteboard? Can you guys see my screen? Oh, no, I'm not. Okay, I'll share my screen again.
Not now, we can't.
All right, I'm back. All right.
Now we're seeing the screen.
Awesome. I think it's what I have beginning of the year, I think people brought it up, is like, how do you set these norms? Like, these side conversations and everything. And the book, the reading, it talks about what the teacher makes a lot of them, or has these rules. And for me, it's day one, these kids get the mystery tube. I don't know if people are familiar with the mystery tube activity. They have this tube, It has strings on. The kid drew it on his iPad there. I just tell him.
Yes.
They whiteboarded day 1. Day 2, we come back in and we get in a circle discussion. If I'm going, I don't know. I'm just trying to find a better picture. Yeah, so they have the tube. They're drawing it. And then we get to our first discussion. Here's some interesting one. This one, they thought it was some sort of like yo-yo, like a crank or something that actually brought these strings back together. But, it's just whole purpose of the activity is to figure out how it works. And then from there, we as a class discuss our norms. Wow. Now, this is what the students do, like period 1, period 3. Every class, I came up with a new one. And a lot of times, every week, I just had to pull up the slides. Like when we first circle up, like the kids will come in and they'll have the instructions like, hey, what are you pulling up on your iPads or what are we doing? Like get circled up. And then I revisit this, I don't know, often. I haven't revisited this week, but at least last week I put it up. And if the discussion's going, they bring all these things up. The only one that I always bring up at the end is like the no side conversations. Like our side conversation is going to hinder it. Like, the last one on almost all of these is no side conversations, and I always try to bring that up. But I make the kids come up with it little as possible. So I think someone went on my computer and wrote hi today, so I got yeah. Oh, no,
Where did you get the mystery tube activity? Was it an AMTA thing or?
Yeah, I found, it was from the Michigan workshops. One of the teachers brought it up. You can just Google mystery tube and it shows you how to make them.
Yeah, that's a kind of a fun thing.
They still are asking me. I had a student ask me like Monday of this week, are you going to tell us you don't tell them how the tube works.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lesson plan. And it gets me so angry on day 1.
That is the boxes, the
name cubes. Yeah. Me too.
So.
One of the things that I've used with the kids is, and we're setting the norms, and I give them this particular norm for board meetings. We need students to be willing to take a risk. You have to take a risk to be willing to share. And so our norm for board meetings is to use risky behavior. And the R stands for respectful. The I stands for interested in what each other have to say. And when we make comments, the S stands for supportive and the K stands for kind. So that's the way we try to help them, or I try to help them remember the norms for board meetings. Risky behavior.
I like that. Maybe we can put that in the Google Classroom.
Yeah,
sure. I can throw that in there.
Yeah, I like I said, like if discussions aren't going well, like my kids like before winter break, they're not, whatever. Sometimes we need to revisit these and talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the kids buy into this because, and this isn't quotism for me, but they start catching on. It's like they're doing more thinking in a modeling classroom, but I'll be honest, they're doing a lot less work. Like I don't do as much work on my kids, but they're doing a lot more talking, a lot more thinking with their groups. And I think it's translates into, I think they're learning so much more. I think it's a win for both sides of this. So they're learning, and on their side, they they don't have to do as much work. And I tell them like, this is crucial. Like if we can't do this, like the circling up for me is the most, that's the most important part. And it's the most challenging part is getting the kids to talk and getting that. So if you don't have the norms, like I didn't used to set the norms. I would, like my first couple of years, I really struggled with modeling. I never set norms. Like I just thought like, all right, don't talk, I was just not good. And I didn't use that talk science perimeter talk moves. So.
I find that if I let the kids have, they can partner talk before I start asking them questions, or I'll ask a question and I'll tell them to turn to a partner or talk in their group. And so they have something to say. Mm-hmm. And it may not be something they came up with, but they came up with it as a group. So if I call on somebody, they'll at least have something that they've said, just to get those reluctant talkers talking.
Yeah. And I also, and I brought this up in our group, is like that when they have this recorded dialogue, this discussion, and it goes, well, I mean, it's not good, it's not bad for me, but it's like, I really don't like calling out individual kids. I try to ease them in other ways, but that environment we set, and like, I like how they brought up in the article too, is like every classroom's different, but man, environment's huge. It's so important.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't like to cold call on them, but I do like them to talk and have something ready. So,
Yeah, I always try to go when they're circling up. I always tell them like, hey, get a spokesperson ready. Make sure you have a spokesperson. And some of the groups that I know, I'm like, are they gonna be ready? I just check in with them real quickly. I'm like, hey, you got someone that can talk to their whiteboard?
Mhm.
It really slows things down every once in a while when we get to a group and they're not ready to talk or they don't know who's talking for their whiteboard. I'm just like, I don't know. So
Room one, I had a really good discussion about how to engage kids in the discussions, and that is a challenge. I mentioned that group, and I'll share it with everybody on Google Classroom, but I use a thing that I give them that I call the ladder of feedback, but essentially it's a whole list of sentence stems that are organized by sort of where they're at. The simplest being, can you explain more about your board? And then higher up is, I disagree with your model because, and it just gives them a place for those students that are having trouble figuring out how to enter the conversation. It gives them a tool that they can use that can give them language to join the conversation. So I'll share it with everybody and take a look at it. So,
yeah.
All right, good conversation. Should we take a break, George?
Yeah, you know what, guys? Before we go to break, we'll just do one more thing. If we're gonna try. I'm gonna introduce you guys to a new simulation. We'll break us into random groups. Am I sharing right now? Am I leading right now?
No, you're not. You want me to turn it back over to you?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yep. Let me do that.
If you guys want,
let's
I
see.
don't know. So we'll start back up at the top of the hour. I'm just gonna put instructions up. It'll take you to I'll tell you to go to a website, and then I have this generic username and password for you to log in. If you just want to start the simulation, you don't have to be an expert by all means. You just want to play around with it for a little bit. Yeah, David, you click Manage Participants on the bottom, and then click on my name and say back to host.
this poll that I see on my screen.
Make host. There we go. Thanks.
Yeah, sorry. I figured a poll would be a lot better than I should have did this earlier. Yeah, the poll is.
It didn't make sense of the poll.
Oh, have you read the Talk Science primer of the article?
Yeah.
I did not word that. I did not word that well either. Yeah. Have you read?
Talk talking while you're typing it. It's fine. We know.
All right, George, the gavel's yours.
Yes, thank you. All right. So I will. If you guys can, over break, if you guys want to, or we'll start. How about we'll start back at 5 after? Just want to end with one more activity, and just kind of see where the discussion goes. I just kind of want to share this resource if I can get it to load. Nope, I don't want to go full screen. Maybe I'll send it as an email. Uh-oh. Explore Learning. And then if you guys can type in, there's going to be on the top of the screen, there's a login and enroll. You can type in this DuPage County 19, and then the password's Wheaton 19. I'm just going to keep this up. And then just use that as your username and password. Just log in. There's a simulation there that's ready. You guys can, if you guys want to just get it loaded, and then we'll do a simulation when we get back. So if you can't get in, it's okay. Someone in the group should be able to. But if you guys want to, just go to and type in explorelearning.com and DuPage County 19 Wheaton. I'll leave this up for you guys to look at. So.
Okay.
Cool.
Any questions or anything? Yeah, I don't know. It's about 9 till right now. Well, should we start up at? Yeah. Are we okay? Do you guys want a 15-minute break? You guys, in case you want to play around the simulation, let's start it back up at 9:05 Eastern.
Do you log in? Is that what you do? Log in?
Yeah. When you click the login and enroll, it'll take you to the next page. The username is this DuPage and Wheaton. So. Yeah, if you guys want, we'll see you guys back up at 5 after.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. Thanks.
That was fun, George.
Oh, the simulation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate I just want to say, Si, I appreciate everything you've added tonight, like conversation. So
Oh, thank you.
with a lot in line with how I feel. Have you seen this? Have you seen Gizmos before?
I haven't. I've seen things that are similar, but I really like the graphs in it a lot. And when you get a diseased part of the population, you know how that really affects the rest of the species.
Yeah.
What was the login for that?
Yeah, let me pull it back up. Can you see?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
DuPage. Is that DuPage County 19 and Wheaton 19?
That's correct.
Okay, thanks.
I'll probably go using this now.
Yeah, they have a multiple. They're really good, I think, for earth and life science simulations.
Mhm.
You know, like PhET, I really lean on PhET for the physical science, but
Yeah.
this is and PhET's free, of course, but yeah, this has helped me out after transitioning out of earth and life science.
Yeah.
Is it horribly expensive?
Yes.
I think it is pretty expensive. Our district has gizmos too, and I think we've had to like ask for it and say yes, we still use it. Like it's a really good resource. I don't want it to go away.
And then the kids love them.
They do.
Yeah.
It depends on how we use them. I
Right.
think our 7th grade teachers use them a lot, and so when they get to 8th grade, they're like, "Ugh, gizmos," and
Yeah.
so then we don't use them the same way, because if you like print out the student packet and say do that, then they're like, oh, and I think that's what a lot of 7th grade teachers do. And then the way we use them is a lot different.
Yeah, and that's what I notice is I try not to overuse these, you know, when it goes in well with the storyline, but a lot of times we'll divide and conquer when we do these worksheets. Like I'll have some groups do part A, some groups do part B. It all depends, unless the parts build on each other.
I also feel it works really well with modeling because I'll take a particular question or like the analyzing the graph, and the groups will model that. And so I don't go over the entire gizmo. We just have whiteboard circles about specific questions.
Yeah. Okay. So you have them whiteboard certain questions.
Yeah, so I'll pick what a particular focus area, and I'll have them whiteboard. Typically it's the data chart that go, like if they have a data chart, they whiteboard about that and share their data.
Yeah, I think I think this will all be good for the post lab. I don't know. Do we have most people back yet? Yeah. Oh, cool. We got everyone back. All right. We'll bring it up. Guys, I just want to end one real quick activity, just give you guys a little experience with it. So those of you who have used this before, have not used it. For instance, this one, food chains. Just looking at if I click play, uses there's table, there's bar chart. I like the line graph over time, but I click play. The y-axis showing like the percent of the original population. So right now it's staying the same over the months. Then if I notice if I change things, healthy, like make the snakes diseased, there's a different change here. This is gonna be tough. I don't know how we're gonna be able to coordinate this, but when I put you guys in small groups, maybe have one person run the sim, and then I don't know. Yeah, I was thinking about this. Maybe we'll have one person share, one person run the sim, but at the same time be able to jump back and forth of making a whiteboard. Here's the instructions for the whiteboard.
Multiple people do like could one person have the simulation and one person have the whiteboard? 2 people share at the same time, or no?
I don't know if it's possible, but if you can get it working, Ken. If not, if you can just fall back to just one person sharing and making the whiteboard, but also having the simulation go. Ecosystem, it's a group of living things in their physical environment. Here's the guiding question I want you guys to do is make a whiteboard on how do ecosystems react to major disturbances, maybe when things are healthy and unhealthy. You can make some sort of claim out on the whiteboard, maybe a graphical or data, bar graph, points, and your reason, like, hey, why, based on your claim, tie the evidence in with the claim, like the reason, like why did this happen? We'll just throw you into random groups. That's your goal, is just how do major ecosystems, and I'll paste all this. Yeah, and yeah, just feel free, yeah, to work here. So I'm gonna put everyone in the groups. Just a second. and I'll paste the instructions again. So just make a claim when you change one of them or alter multiple. Make a claim, evidence support it, and throw it on a whiteboard. I'm thinking maybe like, what am I trying to say? We'll go with about, how about we'll go 15 minutes and then we'll do a quick wrap up afterwards. So. All
right.
Good luck.
Thanks. Somehow I think we're going to need it. All right.
Was I supposed to leave?
Nope. I'm gonna close all the rooms. They're all well, you're good. I'm closing all.
Okay. All right.
We'll wrap this up and get everyone on their way.
Okay.
You notice we're like the first people to be back in.
You guys are not tardy. Good job.
Solve the problem with the camera because I suddenly remembered I had one in my locker here.
That's good.
But this machine is working full blast. You can hear it just going.
All right, I think we got everybody back. I will share my screen. I don't know if we want to just go straight into the whiteboard, just discuss what we saw. I think the first group. Whoa.
That was us.
Great.
Yeah.
I don't know how to get it to fit on the screen, but. All right. Guys, just with timing, I don't know. Can we just cut? These are excellent whiteboards, and we'll put them into Google Class. Can we just jump into teacher debriefs? I mean, we definitely do still. We got the same amount of reading to do for next week. What do you guys think? I don't even like. Is this possible? Is this too open ended with students? What do you?
I think they can do it.
I think they can do it.
Oh yeah.
I think this is.
Yeah, one thing I thought, like my students would have a challenge with on here, since the prompt had to do about ecosystems. I know they would jump into just talking about the individual populations, you know. And so I like that it said ecosystem because it makes the kids think of it at that level. So, but I think they could do it, but that's where I would see the redirection needing to be.
Yeah.
I think that they can analyze the data well, but I think setting up an experiment where the variables are controlled, at least to some extent, and they're not just doing like super extreme stuff. Like I can see a bunch of guys trying to kill things off
for
like 10,000 months, you know? And like, so we're going to have like 9,000 hawks and 0 grass, like just doing kind of bizarre things that don't, I think that the experiment might have been too wide open for them.
Yeah.
I think there's a value in that too, though. I mean, if you collapse the system, you know, we do that in the real world. So
that's true.
You know, sometimes the things we think are crazy that they do aren't too terrible. Yeah.
But
I
you
mean,
know,
I get it, but
another way that I think that you could do is to say, okay, we're gonna be looking at this in class tomorrow. Go home, you know, once you do work out some situations at home for yourself and come back tomorrow with, you know, with some situations.
Yeah, that was my thought, is like, this is a good way to offload some stuff that would otherwise take up class time. Like I do that with the FET simulations.
Oh yeah,
like,
I love FET.
come and play with this and be prepared to discuss your cause and effect stuff. Like your cause and effect observations.
Yeah. And I just want to say, like, for what I did, you know, people that have FET just bear or not FET, people that use Gizmos, the worksheets that come with it. I think this is like totally one end of like the way you can tackle it. It's like it's super structured, like scaffolded. And this is typical of what I like. This is very structured, like, hey, like do these, what do you find? It gives you these analysis questions. And I'll tell the students, like, from this simulation, like the food chain simulation, group 1, you're going to whiteboard these questions. And then they do dueling whiteboards, like 1 and 2 are going to talk. 1, 2, 5, and 6 are going to compare answers, talk. 5 and 6 compare their answers from the worksheet. The other one that I think, which I think I think there's a drawback because it's really structured. And I'll share this worksheet. I found it by mistake online. Gizmos has this open-ended one, like what's the guiding question? What's the claim you're trying to figure out? How you're going to collect data?
Oh, that's cool.
I like that.
I like that a lot, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll throw that in. Open-ended, but it gives the kids some structure.
Well, it helps them practice claim evidence and reasoning.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, not only that, it's good for the kids with executive function issues who can't figure out how to attack their stuff, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know where to begin. That gives them a place, and it's sequential for them.
Or just exactly what I do when I do gizmos and we do whiteboards.
Do you go with that open end? You go with the handout I just.
Nope, the dueling whiteboards where you give them specific questions to whiteboard.
Mm.
Yeah, that I catch myself doing a lot of that, dueling whiteboards, because I could just see like the other one would just be so open ended, and I think the kids would get frustrated because they wouldn't know what they're supposed to get out of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
First, I'm only speaking on behalf of 7th graders, but. So I don't know. Gizmos, it's good. It's expensive. You can get someone to pay for it. It's good. I think it's really good for Earth and life science simulations.
I can see that. We were saying that because you just can't have it, you don't have the facility to go over that length of time.
Yeah.
In the lab.
You guys
So
make pretty graphs.
yeah.
So George, real quick, can you say more about the dueling whiteboards when you do this? Do you have, like, for example, group 1 and group 2 compare their answers before you come to the big group?
Yeah, they still circle up.
Okay.
And this is pretty typical. I'm actually going to go to the slide that this is from last year. I'm actually going to go to, like, right now we're in the middle of a weather unit. And there's a weather map simulation there's a weather map simulation they do. Sorry, I'm fumbling through my slides. Just a second. Yeah, so 2 groups to get the same question. And then, gosh, I should just put my slides into different ones. So we're about ready. We're wrapping up weather. And sorry, I'm almost there.
What is this slideshow for that has 300 slides?
These are the instructions. Like typically when the kids walk in, like I'll get to right to today. Nope, that's not it. I went too far. Sorry, guys. What am I doing? All right, like today, they walked in, and it's usually like we debrief the lab. Like yesterday, it's usually like welcome, open up model so far. That's that journal. They grab their block, they grab their whiteboard, they circle, pick a spokesperson, and we get going. But like these whiteboard prompts, like the dueling, I guess to answer the question with the dueling whiteboards is like, I'll put this up and like group 1, like they're already trained because we've been doing it all year. Like group 1 is going to whiteboard part A questions 1 and 2. Group 2 is going to do these. But if you notice the other side of the room, group 5 is the lab table sitting on the other side of the room from them. So when they circle up, they're looking directly at the same questions. One group presents, like groups 1, 2, I say group 1 through 4, you're presenting today. And then groups 5 through 8, you're going to say if you agree, disagree, and why.
Mm.
And then we journal at the end. We'll journal whatever we got. Well, tomorrow we're going to discuss these and like, what do we get out of it? And they're basically high pressure and low pressure systems. We're trying to get out like what patterns, trends do we see? That's what the simulation was about. So it structures it, and the other teachers I teach with are a lot more traditional. So like, it's how I keep pace. It's also another way how I keep pace with them because I just structure the discussions more. But I still get that good discussion, the kids going back and forth.
So, so your model so far that you keep in the journal, I'm curious about that. Are you going to discuss that at some point?
Yeah, let me share with you like where the kids are at right now. Sorry.
That's like a super frustration for me because I'm just following the MTA curriculum that's out there, and there's nothing for my kids to take home.
Yeah, so this is like a study guide. This is like if the kids are absent, they miss the discussion, what do we get out of yesterday's discussion? Like every time we circle up, we put the title of the activity, put the date. We journal as a class, and we just journal like what is like the key things we got out of it. Like for instance, where are we at right now?
So it's kind of like our story so far, but every day.
It's not, I don't know. It's whenever we do an activity and we find something new. Like today we discussed this, we made clouds in a bottle.
Okay.
And we found this is the key concepts that we got out of it. I don't know if that makes sense. We do this at the end of the discussion and the kids are typing on a Google Doc. And I'm not saying, I'm sure there's better ways. This is just what the kids really like. They use it as a study guide. If they're absent, they can copy this from their partner. Like, hey, what did we get out of this discussion?
Yeah.
So it's the big takeaways.
Yeah.
So George, what's the reading that we're going to be doing?
Laying the foundations for academic productive tough. Just finish the article, and then if we can do hacks 5 and 6, that would be awesome. And we're gonna post all this in Google Classroom.
Okay, sounds good.
So I think that's it. Went a little later. I know if you can get around to the readings, appreciate it. I think it led to 2 really good discussions tonight. So I appreciate everyone. I mean, these classes can only be as good as the participants like contributing and you guys' insights. So. David and I are appreciative, and we talk frequently. So, yeah, I guess that's it for tonight. You guys have a good week, good rest of your week, and we'll see you guys back next Wednesday.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.